Good afternoon, friends. This is our next lecture for the physical layer introduction. Sorry, this is our next lecture for the CMS. In today's lecture, we will cover this topic physical layer introduction. Okay, this one is the last layer of the OSI model. Hmm? Physical layer in the OSI model plays the role of interacting with actual hardware and signaling mechanism. Okay, it and physical layer interact with the actual hardware and signaling mechanism. Physical layer is the only layer of OSI network model which actually deals with the physical connectivity of two different stations. Okay, this is only one layer which have a physical contact with the different stations. Okay, in other layers there is no physical contact between the stations and the layer. This layer defines the hardware equipment, cabling, wiring, frequencies, pulses used to represent the binary signal, etc. Okay, physical layer uh, define the hardware equipment. Okay, cabling which is used in that hardware or system, wiring also there, frequencies also there. Okay, pulses used to represent the binary signal, etc. Here is the pulses are used to represent the binary signals, etc. Physical layer provides its service to data link layer. Okay, data link layer got the data from the physical layer itself. Data link layer hands over frame to physical layer. Data link layer hands frame link layer hands over frames to physical layer. Physical layer converts them to electrical pulses which represents the binary data. What happen exactly in physical layer? The data layer hands over the frames to the physical layer. Then physical layer convert it into the electrical pulses which represents the binary data. Okay, the binary data is then sent over the wired or wireless media. Clear? Next is signals. When data is sent over a physical medium, it needs to be first converted into electromagnetic signal. Okay, then data itself can be analog such as human voice or digital such as file on the desk. Both analog and digital data can be represented in digital or analog signal. In signal, when data is sent over the physical medium, it need to be first converted into the electromagnetic signal. Okay, then data itself can be analog such as human voice or digital such as file on the disk. Both analog and digital data can be represented in digital and analog signals. In digital signals are discrete in nature and represent the sequence of voltage pulses. Digital signals are used within the circuitry of a computer system. Clear? What exactly the digital signal? It is a discrete in nature. Okay, and it represents the sequence of voltage pulses. Digital signals are used within the circuitry of a computer system. Clear? Like that, the analog signals are in continuous wave form in nature. Sine wave, right? In nature, and represents by the continuous electromagnetic wave. Digital signal is discrete in nature, and in analog signal, what happen? The signals are in continuous wave form in nature and represented by the continuous electromagnetic wave. Next is transmission impairment. What happens exactly in transmission impairment? When signal travel through the medium, they tend to deteriorate. This means have many reasons are given. First is attenuation. For the receiver to interpret the data accurately, the signal must be sufficiently strong. When the signal passes through the medium, it tends to get weaker. As it covers the distance, it loses the strength. What will happen in attenuation? For the receiver to interpret the data accurately, the signal must be sufficiently strong. When the signal passes through the medium, it tends to get weaker. As it converts distance, it loses the strength. Next is depression. As signal travel through the media, it tends to spread and overlaps. The amount of dispersion depends upon the frequency used. What exactly happen? As signal travel through the media, it tends to spread and overlaps. The amount of dispersion depending upon the frequency used. Okay, the delay distortion is there. Signal are sent over the media with predefined speed and frequency. If the signal speed and frequency does not match, there are possibility that signal reaches destination in arbitrary fashion. In digital media, this is very critical that some bits reach earlier than the previously sent ones. What exactly happen in delay distortion? Here signals are sent over a media with a predefined frequency and speed. If the signal speed and frequency do not match, then there are possibility that signal reaches destination in arbitrary fashion. In digital media, this is very critical that some bits reach earlier than the previously sent ones. Next is noise. Random disturbance of fluctuation in analog to digital signal is said to be noise in signal. What happen here? Random disturbance or fluctuation in analog or digital signal is said to be a noise in signal, which may distort the actual information being carried. Noise can be characterized in one of the following class: thermal noise, intermodulation, crosstalk also there, right? In thermal noise, there is a heat agitates the electronic conductors of a medium, which may introduce the noise in the media. Up to a certain level, thermal noise is unavoidable, right? Next is intermodulation. What happens in intermodulation? When multiple frequencies share a medium, one medium is shared by the multiple frequencies. Their interference can cause the noise in the medium, right? Intermodulation noise occurs if two different frequencies are sharing a medium and one of them has excessive strength or the component itself is not functioning properly, then the resultant frequency may not be delivered as expected. Intermodulation, what happens in intermodulation? There is only one medium which is shared by the different frequencies. When different frequencies are sharing a medium, one of them has excessive strength or the component itself is not perform functionally properly, then the resultant frequency may not be delivered as expected. Next is crosstalk. This sort of noise happens when a foreign signal enters into the media. This is because signal is not medium affects the signal of second medium. What happens in crosstalk? This sort of noise happens when a foreign signal enters into the media. This is because signal is one medium affects the signal of second medium. Clear? Next is impulse. This noise is introduced because of irregular disturbances such as lightning, electricity, short circuit or faulty components. Okay, digital data is mostly affected by the sort of message. Due to the impulse, what happens? This noise is introduced because of the irregular disturbances. Lightning is there, electricity is there, short circuit is there, or faulty components is there. Digital data is mostly affected by this sort of noise. Okay. The next topic is transmission media. The media over which the information between two computers is sent, called the transmission media. Transition media comes into two frames. First is guided media and unguided media. What happens in a transmission media? The media over which the information is transferred, information between the two computer systems is sent. Then it is called as transition media. Okay. And transition media come in two frames, guided media and unguided media. In guided media, all communication via oblique cables are guided medium, such as UTP, coaxial cable, fiber optics. In this media, the sender and receivers are directly connected and the information is sent guided through it. In guided media, wire cables are the guided media, such as TC, UTP, coaxial cable and fiber cable. In this media, the sender and receivers are directly connected and information is sent guided through it. There is physical connection between the sender and receiver. Okay. In unguided media, wireless or open air space is said to be an unguided media because there is no connectivity between the sender and receiver. Information is spread over the air, and anyone, including the actual receipt, may collect the information. Clear? Wi-Fi connection is there. We can search for the Wi-Fi available, and we can join it by this is the unguided media. There is no physical connection between the receiver and sender in unguided media. Okay. Next is channel capacity. The speed of transmission of information is said to be the channel capacity. Clear? We count it as data rate in digital world. It depends on numerous factors such as bandwidth, error rate and encoding. Here is the in channel capacity, the speed of transmission of information is said to be the channel capacity. We count it as data rate in digital world. It depends on the numerous factors such as the bandwidth, error rate and encoding. In bandwidth, the physical limitation of underlying media, error rate, incorrect reception of information because of noise, encoding is there, the number of levels used for signaling. Multiplexing is there. Multiplexing is a technique to mix and send multiple data streams over a single medium. Okay, this technique requires multiplexing is a technique to mix and send multiple data streams over a single medium. This technique requires system hardware called multiplexer. Okay, for multiplexing the stream and sending them to on a medium, and demultiplexer which take information from the media and distribute to different destinations. Multiplexing, there is a multiplexer is there, demultiplexer is there. By using multiplexing, we can mix and send the multiple data stream over the medium, right? This using demultiplexer take the information from the media and distribute to different destination. Okay, next is switching. Switching is a mechanism by which data information sent from source towards destination, which are not directly connected. Networks have interconnecting devices which receives data from directly connected resources, storage data, analysis it and then forward to the next interconnecting device close to the destination. What exactly happens in switching? Here data information sent from some source, sent from the source towards the destination which are not directly connected. Network have interconnecting devices, okay, which receives data from the connected source, stores data, analyzes it and then forward to the next interconnecting device which is closest to the destination. Here switching can be characterized as first one is circuit switching, second is message switching and third one is packet switching. Message switching techniques are there. Switch communication networks are those in which here in message switching switch communication network are those in which data transfer from source to destination is routed between the various intermediate nodes. Switching is the technique by which the nodes control or switch data to transmit it between the specific point on a network. There are common switching techniques: circuit switching, packet switching, and message switching. The message switching was a technique developed as an alternative to circuit switching before packet switching was introduced. In message switching, end user communicates by the sending and receiving messages that includes the entire data to the shared message are smallest individual unit, right? Also, the sender and receiver are not directly connected. There are a number of intermediate nodes that transfers the data and ensures that the message switches its destination, right? The message switch data network are hence called the hop by hop system. Clear? They provide two distinct important characteristics. First is store and format, and second one is message delivery. In stored and forward, the intermediate nodes that have a responsibility of transferring the entire message to the next node. Hence, each node must have storage capacity. The message will only be delivered if the next hop and the link connected it are both available. Otherwise, it will be stored identically. Stored and forward switch forward a message only if the sufficient resources are available and the next hop is accepting data. This is called the stored and forward probability. Next is message delivery. This implies wrapping the entire information in the signal message and transferring it from the source to destination node. Each message may have a header that contains the message routing information including the source and destination. Okay, the message switching network consists of a transmission link, store and forward such switch nodes and end station is shown in the following picture. This is the picture for the message transmission. Characteristics of message switching is advantageous as it enables the efficient uses of network resources. Also, because of the stored and forward capability of intermediate nodes, traffic can be efficiently regulated and controlled. Message delivery as one unit rather than the piece is another benefit. Okay. However, message switching has certain disadvantages as well, since messages are stored independently indefinitely at each intermediate node. Switch requires a large storage weight. Switch requires a large storage capacity. Also, they are pretty slow. This is because each node first there is a processing the next node and link it depending on what availability and channel traffic. Hence, the message switching can be used for real time or interactive applications such as interactive application like a video conference. Okay, these are the advantages of the message switching. First is as message switching is able to store the message for which communication channel is not available. It helps in reducing the traffic congestion in the network. In message switching, the data channels are shared by the network devices. Third, message switching make traffic management efficient by assigning priorities to the message. Here is the disadvantage of message switching. Message switching has the following disadvantages. The message switching cannot be used for real-time application as storing message cause delay. In message switching, the message has to be stored, for which every intermediate device is a network requires a large portion sorting capabilities. Here is the applications for the message switching. The stored and forward messages methods was implemented in telegraph message switching centers. Today, although many major networks and systems are packet switch or circuit networks, their delivery process can be based on message switching. For example, in many more electronic mail systems, the delivery process is based on the message switching, while the network is in fact either circuit switch or packet switch. Here is the digital to digital converter. This section explain how to convert digital data into digital signal. It can be done in two ways. Line coding and block coding is there. For all communication, line coding is necessary, whereas black coding is optional. Okay, in line coding, the process for converting digital data into the digital signal is said to be a line coding. Digital data is found in binary format. It is represented initially as series of 1 and zeros. See, here is the diagram. Digital signal is denoted by the discrete signal, which represents the data. Represents the digital data. There are three types of line coding scheme available. First is unipolar line coding, polar line coding, and bipolar line coding. Unipolar encoding. Unipolar encoding schemes are used very large. Unipolar encoding scheme use single voltage level to represent the data. In this case, even though in this case to represent binary 1, high voltage is transmitted, and to represent 0, no voltage is applied. High voltage is transmitted and represented the 0. No voltage is transmitted. It is called the unipolar return to 0, because there is no rest condition and it either request. This is the amplitude versus time is there. Next is polar encoding. Polar encoding scheme use the multiple voltage levels to represent the binary values. Polar encoding is four types. Polar non-zero to zero, polar NRZ. Polar encoding schemes uses the multiple voltage levels to represent the binary polar data. Encoding is polar non-return to zero. It uses the two different voltage levels to represent the binary value. Generally, it positive voltage represents the 1 and negative value represents the 0. It also NRZ because there is no rest condition. Okay. NRZ scheme has two variants, NRZL and NRZI. Here NRZL and NRZI is there. NRZL changes voltage level at which the different bits is encountered, whereas NRZI damage helped when it is encountered. Here is the return to 0. Return to 0. RZ. Problem with NRZ is that the receiver cannot conclude when a bit ended and with when the next bit is started, in case when sender and receiver's clock are not synchronized. This one is the amplitude versus time. RZ uses the three voltage levels: positive voltage to represent 1, negative voltage to represent 0, and 0 voltage for none. Signals changes during bit, not between bits. Here is the Manchester. This encoding scheme is a combination of RZ and NRZI. L bit time is divided into two halves. It transmits it in the middle of the bit and changes phase when the different bit is encountered. Different manches are there. The encoding scheme in a combination of RZ and NRZI. It also transit at the middle of the bit but changes phase only when one is encountered. Bipolar encoding is there. Bipolar encoding uses the three voltage levels: positive, negative and 0. 0 voltage represents the binary 0 and 1 bit 1 is represents by altering positive and negative voltage. Here alternate positive and negative voltage is there. Here is the block coding. To ensure the accuracy of the receiver data frame, redundant bits are used. For example, even one parity bit is added to make the count of ones in the frame even. This way the original number of bits is increased. It is called as a block coding. Block coding is represented by the slash nation. MBNB means M bit block is substituted with N bit block where N is greater than M. Block coding involves a three-step: division, substitution and combination. Here after block coding is done, it is line coded for transmission. This is all about the digital to analog converter. Digital to digital converter is there. Now next is analog to digital converter. In today's lecture we will go through the first point is the physical layer introduction. In that signal, digital signal, analog signal, transmission impairment is there, attenuation, dispersion, delay, distortion is there, noise is there. There are different types of noise like thermal noise, intermodulation noise, crosstalk is there, impulse is there, right? After that the transmission media is there. After that transmission media in there, guided media, unguided media is there, channel capacity, in that bandwidth, error rate and encoding point is there. After that, multiplexing is there. Switching, types of switching. In that, message switching is uh, going through message coding in detail. Characteristics of message switching we were study. Advantages of message switching, disadvantages of message switching, applications of the message switching, right? Again, the digital transmission in computer network we have studied. In that, first point is digital to digital conversion. In that, line coding and block coding is there. In line coding there is a three types: unipolar, polar and bipolar. We will go through it. And next is the NRZ, RZ, right? This is all about the lecture, today's lecture. In next lecture we will start with the analog to analog conversion. Okay, thank you for today's lecture. We have time, so we will start with the next topic, that is the uh, analog to analog conversion here, because there is only 36 minutes are done, right? So we will start, we have 10 to 15 minutes, so we will start with the uh, analog to analog conversion here itself. Okay, here is the microphones. Microphone creates the analog voice and camera creates the analog videos, right, which are treated in analog data. To transmit this analog data over the digital signal, we need to convert the analog to digital conversion, right? Because digital signals is accepted by the computer. Analog data is a continuous stream of data in the waveform, whereas the digital data is a discrete. To convert analog to digital data, we use the pulse code modulation. Okay, PCM. PCM means the pulse code modulation, which is one of the most commonly used method to convert the analog data into the digital form. Okay, it involves the three steps: sampling, quantization and encoding. Okay, here we know, we got why we have to convert the signal analog to digital. Okay, and what is the technique used to convert the ADC, means pulse code modulation, PCM technique. In PCM technique there is a three steps for sampling, quantization and encoding. Here first sampling is there. This is the analog signal, is a continuous waveform. There is a sampling technique. The analog signal is sampled every t interval. Most important factor is sampling is the rate at which analog signal is sampled. Rate of sampling is most important parameter. According to the Nyquist theorem, the sampling rate must be at least 2 times of the highest frequency of the signal. Okay, then after the sampling is done, the quantization process is there. This is the diagram for quantization. Sampling yield discrete form of continuous analog signal. Every discrete system shows the amplitude of the digital analog signal. At that instance, the quantization is done between the maximum amplitude value and the minimum amplitude value. Quantization is approximation of the instantaneous analog value. See here, encoding is there. In encoding, each approximated value is often converted into the binary form. Okay. Then transmission mode. The transmission mode decides how data is transmitted between two modes. The binary data is the form of ones and complement zeros and can be sent in different data. Parallel and serial is there. Parallel transmission means this diagram shows the parallel transmission. The binary bits are organized in a group of fixed length, but under the binary bits are organized into the group of fixed length. Both sender and receiver are connected in parallel with the optimal numbers of data lines. Both receivers are connected in parallel with each other number of data lines. Both computers distinguish between high order and low order data lines. The sender sends all the bits at once on all lines. Both the data lines are equal to the number of bits in a group or data frame. A complete group of data frame is sent to one of advantage of parallel data transmission in high speed, and disadvantage is the cost of wire as it equals to the number of bits sent by parallel. Here is the diagram for serial communication. In serial transmission, bits are sent one after another in a sequence manner. Serial transmission requires only one common channel. See the diagram. Serial transmission can be either asynchronous or synchronous. The synchronous serial transmission, it is named so because there is no importance of timing. Data bits have specific pattern and they help receiver recognize the start and end data bits. For example, 0 is prefix on every data byte and one or more ones are added at the end. Two continuous data frames byte may have a gap between them. This is asynchronous serial transmission. This is serial asynchronous. The synchronous serial transmission. Timing in synchronous transmission has importance as there is no mechanism followed to recognize the start and end data bits. There is no pattern to prefix suffix method. Data bits are sent in burst mode without maintaining a gap between bytes. 8 bits. Single burst of data bit contain a number of bytes. Therefore, timing becomes very important. It is up to the receiver to recognize and separate bits into the bytes. The advantage of synchronous transmission is very high speed and it has no overhead of extra header and footer bit as in asynchronous transmission is there. Okay, the analog transmission is there. To send the data over an analog media, it needs to be converted into the analog signal. There can be two cases according to the data formatting, band pass and low pass. In band pass, the filter are used to filter and pass frequencies of interest, right? A band pass is a band of frequencies which can pass the filter, and low pass, the low pass is a filter that passes low frequency signals. Okay, when the digital data is converted into the band pass analog signal, it is called the digital to analog conversion. When low pass analog signal is converted into the band pass analog signal, it is called a analog to analog converter. Here in synchronous serial transmission, timing in synchronous transmission is important, right? As there is no mechanism follow to recognize the start and end data bits. There is no recognition, there is no any acknowledgement from the receiver to receive the signal. There is no pattern or prefix suffix method, so the timing is most important. Okay, data bits are sent in burst mode without maintaining a gap between bytes. Okay, then the single bytes of data bits may contain the number of bytes also, therefore timing become very important, right? It is up to the receiver to recognize and separate bits into the bytes. Advantage of this synchronous transmission is very high speed transmission, and it has no overhead of extra header and footer. Okay, as it is in asynchronous transmission. Analog transmission, there is a point to send the digital data over analog media. It need to be converted into the analog signal first, then can be two case according to the data formatting. There is band pass filter and low pass filter. The filter are used to filter and pass frequencies of interest, right? Then a band pass is a band of frequencies which can pass the filter. And in low pass is the filter that passes the low frequency signal. This is all about today's lecture. In next lecture we will start with the analog to digital conversion. Digital to analog conversion. Thank you for today's lecture. We will start with this topic tomorrow, same timing.